and welcome to Acupuncture and Chiropractic with Impressive Suzy. Suzy is a 29-year-old quarter horse, and she's a very pretty quarter horse, and she loves carrots and loves attention. So we're going to have a session where you see how Suzy reacts to all these treatments. Now, my name is Dottie, and I'm at the Finksburg branch of the Carroll County Public Library.
First thing I like to start with is a little scan where I just put light pressure over some of the acupuncture meridians. So basically acupuncture is based on Chinese medicine of things they figured out over 3,000 years ago. And what happens in the body is energy flows on meridians. And meridians are like highways for this energy flow. And when things aren't moving correctly, they create pain and also dysfunction. So what I do is go through and check and see where she has painful areas so that we can go back and target treatments to those areas. There's 12 main meridians in the body and a whole bunch of other ones too. We go around here. And each meridian is associated with different internal organs of the body as well. So even though the needles we're going to put in are real tiny and they're going to go just through the skin, you can actually use these meridians to reach organs deep in the body. So the meridian that I'm checking right here is called the bladder meridian. And it is associated with the bladder, but it's also associated with all the other meridians. They all connect in different ways through the body. And since horses get ridden, they always have sensitivity over their bladder meridian through here. Well, just about always. So it's a really important meridian for the body. For the horse. So then I start with doing some chiropractic adjustments. So chiropractic is based on the skeletal system. And what we do is check each bone as we run down the spine and make sure each joint where one bone touches the other bone is moving in its full range of motion. And then where we have little areas where it's not moving as freely as it should, we do a little tiny thrust in the exact direction that the bones move. So it's tiny, and even though a horse is really big, it's still tiny movements. And then when the horse licks and chews like that, she tells me, oh, thank you. You got the right spot. I feel better. So that's how horses communicate back to us while we're working on their bodies. And Suzy's super old, so I'm super careful with her. If I do younger horses, it'll look a little different than we do on grandma here. We just go very gentle and very slow with Suzy because grandma's not as limber as she used to be. Right, girlfriend? Yeah. Go down both sides of the neck. And this is where the horse's neck vertebrae run for her spine. So our neck's only this big. The horse, it's this big. And in the giraffe, you know how long the giraffe neck is? They still have the same number of vertebrae in their neck as we do, as horses do, as your dog, your cat. It's very consistent across all the different species. All right, girl. So when she says that hurts, I just kind of wait, give her a chance. Just wait, there we go. That's all we need. Okay, so now I got up on my block so I can work on her back, which consists of her thoracic vertebra, which is where the ribs attach, and the lumbar, and then the sacral. And then back here we have the tail. So right here is the SI joint, and that's where the hind leg attaches to the spine. And we're just gonna run through the different range of motion of those two joints. Go through these. Lumbar. Yeah. Come up here to the withers. And then I like to get them to do a nice stretch over their top line. Stay here. And that's great for her age. So now we're going to do some acupuncture on Suzy, which is putting these little teeny tiny needles into different acupuncture points. So what we're trying to do is reestablish, the cat wants some too, reestablish the normal flow of energy through the different areas of her body. So if you look at her knees, these are really big. And so she has arthritis in her knees, and that's painful for her. So what we're going to do is put some needles around that area and try and get those areas feeling better. The needles that we're using are super small. I don't know if you can even see how tiny they are. And they come in all different sizes and lengths. But you don't have to use really big, scary needles. And that's why even these little teeny ones, she'll notice them. They'll do what they need to do. See, she's noticing that one in her leg over there. Good girl. And it's not unusual for them to feel it a few minutes after you put a needle in. Once the energy starts to flow, then you can feel all sorts of different sensations. And if you talk to people that get acupuncture, they'll have all different things that they feel. Sometimes, some people feel nothing. Some will say, oh, it was a little tingly. Some will say, oh, I felt warm. Some will be like, oh, I felt an electric shock. So we don't really know what the horses feel because they don't really tell us, but they definitely feel it. So after all our needles are in, we give her about 15 or 20 minutes to let them sit there, and then we'll pull them out. We're going to take Suzy's needles out. So we're finished here with Suzy, and everything we did, we're just trying to keep her feeling good and keep her healthy as can be, so she has many more years here with Dottie.
Well, thank you for joining us today with Impressive Suzy and Dr. Laura Rick. Suzy just had a session of acupuncture and chiropractic, and we're hoping she feels good and she has many more years left with us. So please don't forget to join us at the library. I'm at Finksburg, and we have plenty of materials for you to check out. We have the computers, the printers, and we'd love to see you back at the library again. Thank you all.